Do you have a friend for whom you feel the need to provide a warning before introducing him to other friends? Yes, my friend would fake his whole life to make sure he's as relatable and compatible with you as possible. He'll search the things you like, do as much research as he can and like them even more than you do, even lie about that you told him about these stuff. You'll like him now, but in a year, you start to realize who he truly is. In fact, I have a sort of friend matrix. In my head, certain friends are just not compatible with certain others. Some of them are allowed to hang out with others if I give enough of a warning. I legitimately get anxious about how different groups will get along. I know I am not responsible for friends' behavior, but I feel bad introducing people if it leads to awkwardness or God forbid arguments. I'm the same way. My school friends and my life friends don't cross. Never. When I'm around my school friends, we get really boring. Let's talk about the 8,000 kinds of pancreatic disorders and why we'll forget them when I'm with my non-nursing friends. I'm a fairly respectable person. He likes getting naked everywhere. His friend bet him a cheeseburger he wouldn't get naked in a McDonald's parking lot. His friend lost immediately. I am that way when I am drunk. Back when I was drinking, I was at a party with a bunch of high school friends and a bunch of their new friends. I made a joke about getting naked and someone started chanting strip, which a few people joined. The next thing they know, I am butt naked with no inclination of getting dressed again. The worst part is, you usually find out who that friend is the hard way. He's super cool when it's just the two of you. Normal cool guy, no red flags. So you invite him out to meet your other friends, and boom. Mount Saint. Douchebag erupts. He's a total tool. Everyone notices. You can feel how much everyone hates this guy and wants him gone. And they're right. But he can't feel it. Or maybe he can feel it, and it only emboldens him. You feel like such a donk for bringing him around. I have a friend who's exactly like that. He'll have heart-to-heart conversations until 3 AM. But when you take him out in a group, he'll act super bro-y, even though he is 0% bro. I have this amazing friend who is a chronic flake. He's like a master of all these martial arts, can play several instruments, is super smart, knows everything about computers ever, very well read, interesting, fun and hilarious at parties, amazing dancer, very good looking, has traveled to more exotic places in the world than anyone I know, would give you the shirt off his back, has a good deal of money but is not boastful about it. Everyone loves him. I can't say enough about his person to how wonderful he is in real life. But he operates on what I like to call Freddy time. Name changed. You get the drift. That's his one thing. He is rarely if ever on time, and there have been many occasions where he's forgotten about plans entirely. When I say late, I mean like really late, not 10-15 minutes late. He often confuses or mixes up locations, meeting places. He also has zero ability to estimate how long something will just take. Oh, this place is like 5 minutes away. 2 hours later we roll up. I'm going to grab a quick sandwich on my way. He didn't go to Jimmy John's. He went to a restaurant and it's an hour and a half later. I have two. On their own they are hilarious and friendly, but when together they become confrontational, make fun of anyone and are generally I love you, and I love Ryan. But no one deserves to be subjected to both of you at the same time. I've got a friend who is about 6.6 featuring, bald, pale as the moon and skinny as a skeleton. He has the loudest voice you can imagine. Seriously, it's like a foghorn next to your ear, even when he's standing on the other side of the road. Yet, he has mastered the way of creeping up to people unnoticed. It's rather impressive really. So imagine you chatting up a nice girl when you're out, and all of a sudden this almost perfect white, ethereal, impossibly tall, skinny creature materializes out of thin air and bends menacingly over and foghorns a 500 gigawatt booming hello in said girl's ear, followed by a hysterious giggle when the girl nopes out of reach. Yeah, love him though. Being 6 feet 4 inches learning to be sneaky is the best thing in the world. When someone turns around and almost has a heart attack because a giant is behind them, it's the funniest thing ever. Though my voice isn't really loud. My friend had mouth cancer and had to have most of her jaw removed, which also left a huge hole in her face. This was before they could start any reconstructive surgery while waiting to make sure the cancer was gone when we would go out. She had to wear a face mask, like a welder, to keep in clean. A bunch of yous were going away for a long weekend and I had to give my friend, who I was introducing to the group, a heads up. Later I asked her if the warning was enough to prepare her and she said no. Old man Don. He doesn't exist in this reality and there's really no telling what kind of bulls might spill out of his mouth. It could be spiritual. If you hear a crow call 3 times in the morning, that means death. It could be agricultural. You can plant in February if you keep a burn barrel going out in the field. Animal training. Handle an aggressive dog by staring him right in the eyes to show your dominance. Wildlife. All snakes are venomous because they've all been interbred so much. You should kill them all. More pet advice. You should soak it in vegetable oil to keep its skin moist. Regarding my bearded dragons, everything he says is along those lines. But dang, he's entertaining and usually has some moonshine on him, so we don't mind him coming around. Not friend, but I have an aunt. She does some hardcore drugs and did shows mentally and physically. She's in her 50s, has no teeth, dresses like a teenager, is very loud, and is a huge oversharer. There's no amount of preparation sufficient for her. I have come to believe that everyone has an oversharing too young dressing kind of fun but emotionally exhausting to be around lady in their family. For some reason the majority are named Debbie or Linda. I have a friend who has ADD and a problem with hearing. Sometimes when a group of people are talking about something and he hasn't quite heard the topic, heck just starts speaking really loud about something else. At first I thought he was a douche, but after he explained his conditions and that he speaks loud sometimes because his hearing is bad, I realized he is really a funny and nice guy. One of my best friends at university has ridiculously fast wit coupled with his lack of care for how people will react or feel can make it seem like he doesn't like you. So I have to tell people to not take anything he says personally. I have a friend just like this, but with a solid dose of cynicism. I've known him longer than anyone else, and he is my best friend, but his personality is strong. His personality could roll a D1 and still lift a house. Chance. Alright, new friend. You'll hate Chance the first time you hang around him, but he grows on you. Just don't get him talking about his Irish heritage and do not under any circumstances let him pick the music. If he's drunk and rambling, just walk away, he won't notice, I promise. Oh Chance. Oh, you mean Danny. Danny has been my friend since 1st grade. Great guy, really nerdy and tells some funny jokes. However, Danny will sneak up on you and whisper in your ear the N-word. He's not trying to be racist, just crap I don't know. He will talk about his sexual escapades for a laugh. These include but are not limited to public masturbation, mutual masturbation with male friends, and how he lost his virginity to a migrant worker. He will do something over the top to hold your attention. For example, public pooping, eat a crap ton of food, flirt with senior citizens. Also, he might be drunk high and he really can't hold his intoxicants. Despite all of this, he is a good guy, never hurts anyone and just wants those around to have fun. My best friend, Andy. He really is a good guy, and I love him, but he is such a douche. He is so hyped on I don't care what anybody thinks that he goes out of his way to make a fool out of himself and me. I was so sick of the warnings that I told him I would only hang out with him at home when it was just the two of us, so that he couldn't embarrass me or make my friends uncomfortable. Also, he will frick anything that moves, and that includes my other friends. It's funny, but I too always feel the need to clarify he's really a good guy and I love him before the but. But yeah, the not caring crutch gets old. The wife of a couple my wife and I used to hang out with. She would just get stupid drunk all the time. She had her baby on her lap breastfeeding. Yup, while drunk. Baby stopped. She sat there for 20 minutes with her titty hanging out, then popped up and was like, "Where is the baby? On your lap, you freaking twit." Breastfeeding while drinking, oh. He can be in butthole, but once you get to know him, well, he's still in butthole, but a lot more endearing. He's hilarious. You'll get over his dong tendencies. He's in butt to everyone except me. People always ask why buttholes are nice to some people and a jerk to everyone else. Well, because we care about our best friends, damn it. I had a friend once warn me, "My mate David is joining us for drinks. Just thought I'd let you know that he's Jewish. I'm Arab. Guess he though I might pelt him with rocks or something." Deborah. She is blonde, pretty, vivacious, and talks non-stop, loudly, and she is a DD bra size, so the attention is on her all the time, and she likes it. Good for her, but a bit annoying to the rest of us. You will never get a word in, and it will seem as if you have completely disappeared to every guy in the room. I love it when there's that one girl at the party all the guys are chasing around. Have fun, guys. Meanwhile, I'll be chatting up the other 30 girls at the party. I have a friend that only gives his age in moons. He will refuse to give the years. I have seen this almost start fights. Great guy, he is one of my best friends. I call the group my triumvirate. He just matches to the beat of a different drummer. I bet he thinks it's the number of months. I have a few of them. Some of it comes from my life now compared to my friends from back home, and the difference of being politically correct in a big liberal city and then going home to hear nonchalant racism and sexism, and vice versa. I learned that more often the coaching before the two sides meet actually promotes people to notice these things and judge each other more than if you just introduced them as your friends. Interesting observation. I assumed that coaching would mitigate things, but I can totally see that happening as well. I was that friend at one point. I changed after my best friend said to me, right before meeting a group of people at a party, "We are in mixed company, is it organic?" Really made me step back and evaluate just how douchey I had become. I wouldn't call him a friend, more like a leech. I feel really bad saying that, but he thinks I'm his best friend, because I'm the only person that's nice to this guy, and I can't honestly say I like the guy. But anywhere we go together, when we hang out, I always warn others because he is annoying, clingy, and I'm pretty sure he has sexual feelings towards me. I'm a straight guy. I have two very good, very old friends. One has been my friend since high school, and while I love him to death, he can be very grating. He tries. He's just very smart and awkward at the same time. Other friend is my best friend, and he's very introverted and another incredibly smart guy, and he generally doesn't like most people. I know and love both of them, but I knew they would hate each other, so I never let them meet. We were all at the same college and the boys tell me they are taking a writing class. Okay, fair enough, they are both good writers. Makes sense. Then I get a text from one of them bitching about this snarky kid who thinks he's smarter than everyone else. And then the other texts me, going on about this stuck-up know-it-all who thinks he's much smarter than he really is. And then it clicked and I started laughing. I feel for the teacher. My grandmother is an amazing cook, but likes to put her medicines in her food. I have to tell my friends we can't eat whatever she brings us because she'll occasionally slip up and put it in food she's making for other people. We all had lunch at her house about 8 years ago and woke up 6 hours later. My friend is freaking awesome, and you cannot help but love being around her, but I always warn new people who meet her. My typical warning: don't let her sexy, ditzy, drunk valley girl persona fool you. This girl managed to graduate at the top of her med school class, was in the top 5% of medical school graduates in the nation, USA, and is in one of the most elite residency programs in the country. She also loves alcohol, never at work though. When she is drunk, which is most nights and every weekend off, she walks, talks, and acts like the most classic valley girl you will ever meet. I would think it would be better if you didn't warn people so you can watch the misunderstanding happen. Not a friend, but if I ever have cause to introduce my grandfather to anyone, I give a standard warning about how he's a crotchety homophobic racist who loves to wind people up, but will cry victim as a tinno the second you fight back. It's sadly necessary. Yeah, one of my friends is into a lot of alternative hobbies, and he's very open about his observations and opinions, so I tend to give fair warning. One of my husband's friends, he is a total creeper. He has these eyes that make him look like he wants to rape everyone at that moment. He also tried to have sex with every female at our wedding, from my 18-year-old cousin to my 85-year-old grandmother. He gauges people by being an absolute C and seeing if they have the balls to stand their ground. He sounds like an absolute C. I have a friend who's half 4chan in a person and half a sweet guy that likes dogs and workout. His 4chan side can sometimes burst out unexpectedly, so I make sure people we meet are from the internet as well. Totally. I have a friend who is probably the most blunt person I have ever met. They will offer their opinion at every turn and sometimes refuse to listen to someone else even if the other person is the subject matter expert. I have a tendency to warn people not to take it to heart. That's not blunt. That's just obnoxious. My boyfriend. He will talk someone's ear off about himself. Talk about how great he is and how he knows so many people and so many people know him. He will also put me down in front of people, whether it's about my appearance or my personality. He's very loud. I'm beginning to think he is a high-functioning autistic. I'm also breaking up with him very soon. But yeah, I think the whole talking you down in public thing would be cause for breaking up with him. He's a great guy and we've been friends since high school and since having a kid. He's become a crazy antivaxxer who wears an amethyst necklace and thinks it does something. He also thinks that kids who are fed formula are more likely to become gay and that there's something wrong with me for not wanting to share my bed with my kid on the way. I have a friend who pulls out his balls and will make really weird noises. I'm pretty sure I've seen his butt more than my own. He grabs my man boobs and will also stick his finger up my butt when I'm walking upstairs. Anytime he comes over to a new group of people, I just give them a heads up. I hate to say yes, but my answer is yes. I hate saying yes to this because that person in my life is my wife. Sorry to get serious here, but she has been on a downward spiral and cannot pull herself out of it. Vodka's her poison of choice and it's from the moment she wakes up until she passes out. It's cost us friends, her family and of course the financial ruin. I've taken her name off our joint account but it makes no difference. I used to pour out her alcohol and hide it but that made no difference. I go to Al-Anon and realize now I shouldn't do that. I don't shelter her anymore, so now when people ask if they can come over I am brutally honest. You can come over, but I got to tell you about my wife. Don't bring wine, don't drink with her, don't encourage her, etc. It's tough. Went to AA meeting a few days ago and heard a great speaker say that alcoholics are always saying they lost this and lost that, but the truth is they don't lose anything. They give it away. They give it up for the alcohol. Nothing is lost to an alcoholic. It's all given up for their own true love. That's how I feel. Dumped down the drain for her alcohol. Honestly I do. But I stopped apologizing and feeling embarrassed for his social miscues. My friend Mitch is socially awkward and can't comprehend simple things like waiting your turn, keep your hands to yourself, nor can he refrain from being rude, like calling strangers fat. Because despite his inability to act like a normal person in public and despite him getting kicked out and banned from many places we go, if I called him right now and said shoot's gone bad, I need to, you come here now, he would drop everything and race over. He would literally take the last $100 out of his wallet and give it to you if you needed it. I can count on him for anything. Except to behave at a restaurant, haha. You can't replace a good loyal friend, so I will take a few stares at read you hang out with him. You just don't meet people that would put themselves out for their friends often enough anymore. I have a family friend whom unfortunately kind of lost it in Vietnam. We have to warn people because he will suddenly start dodging and hiding because they are trying to get him. You can imagine not being warned and having this happen in front of you. Lost all contact with his real family and will ramble on about he will not break when you try to find out about his past, so we leave it at that. We let him stay at my dad's garage repair shop. He has built himself a hole, or sleeping quarter, on the roof that is hidden and he will never come out when you call for him. He will come out when he thinks it's safe. He is not harmful, just always dodging bullets, he says. So that is the family friend. It has made me and my family realize the sacrifice he made. He didn't die in Vietnam, but just about did. I know it's a lot different from the other stories shared. Yes, I have to warn myself every time before I hang out him. He is literally a real life version of Ricky from TPB. He is the same level of intelligence, and just as reckless as Ricky. He is my friend from way back, but I wouldn't trust him alone with a paperclip. Any modicum of responsibility he fricks up royally, usually to the tune of thousands of dollars of damage and a visit from law enforcement. I once saw him do like $30,000 worth of vandalism and petty crime in one night, including having the fire department rip down like half the doors in an apartment complex with their axes. I also saw him fall through half a dozen car windshields that night. He is an animal and is totally remorseless. Yes, my best friend. I usually start off with she's a human tornado, but she's really such a sweet person, and then I go from there. She's an absolute disaster. She's late to everything. Constantly. She definitely has ADHD, which is part of why she flunked out of nursing school, and also why her life is in shambles, but her personality doesn't help. She's currently sleeping with 4 or 5, I've honestly lost track, because I don't even try to care anymore, guys, and thinks this is totally fine and normal, which I would partially agree with, because she's never pretended like she's going to be exclusive with any of them, but still, 5 is really just overkill. She has no money, like actually $0, and yet goes out and parties and spends whatever she can scrounge up, or gets her chump friends who haven't caught on yet to front her $10.20. She recently moved out, got kicked out of her parents' house, and when she did, we all started making bets for how long she could go before she was broke. I put in the lowest with 3 months. Most other people were saying 6. It's been 2 months, and she has exactly next month's rent in the bank. No more. She started out with $5,000 BTW from school loans, and she whirled part-time making $9.25 and has yet to seriously look into getting another job. She used to drink like a fish and recently switched to smoking weed like all the time, as in every day, a few times a day, and even though her father had a heart attack in his 30s from CUs, and her sister was homeless because of drug abuse, does not seem to think this is an issue. She constantly hijacks plans, like we make plans to do one thing, and then I get a call at the last minute making it sound like she came up with this great idea that I'm gonna love, usually involving something she knows I'm not going to like, and also me driving her friends around and picking up a bunch of people I don't know. The funny part is, even though she does all these things, getting mad at her would be like getting mad at a dog for crapping on the floor. Sure, it knows it's not supposed to, but it lacks the mental capacity to really understand why. She knows what she's doing is bad, but she's too busy running from one frick up to the next that she can't sit back and think, wow, I'm acting like an absolute shitstorm and should probably stop. Despite this, I still love her. Although less so than previously. I have a very high tolerance for her shenanigans, but I can tell they're starting to take a toll on our friendship. It's a bummer. Mate, if you really love her, you've got to sit down and talk with her. She sounds like she's running her life into the ground right now, with drugs, and men, and finances, and parties, and God knows what else. If she can't understand why this is all bad, you need to be the man-woman who sits down and explains it to her. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.